out of sorts, apparently. Welcome, I'm Julie Samako, owner of Southern Charm Wreaths, where we make beautiful wreaths and teach you how to make and sell them. We're going to be making a Deco mesh Christmas wreath. I was getting ready to make it. I wanted to use up some of my supplies before I put them away for the season, and I thought I would come on and do something live with you guys. So let me know, how are you and what are you making? And for Thanksgiving, are you hosting? Are you making, what do you like to make? Are you doing sweet potatoes or are you doing mashed potatoes? What kind of potatoes do y'all like for your Thanksgiving meal? Here in the States, we're celebrating Thanksgiving. All right. Here I'm using a 24-inch PVC wreath, right? And I've added 10-inch Deco mesh to the wreath. So these are just 10-inch loops, or not loops, but little pieces. So this is a 10-inch, 10.5-inch mesh, or 10-inch mesh, I can't remember. And then cut the length of it 10 inches, and I've ruffled it and just placed it throughout the wreath. And this is the base that I'm working with. I like that this is a little more rustic, not necessarily glitzy. The mesh came from where did the mesh come? The mesh came from Trendy Tree. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my sign. I love this little joyful, merry, and blessed sign. Y'all, no matter what's going on in the world, in your life, we're blessed. We can always find blessings. All right, I'm just going to add this in. This is always the trickiest part. This is where people are like, start the cussing. They get the cursey words going. The sign is always difficult. Don't think that because you can't, get it in the first time, right? Because it's a little bit of a challenge. Don't think that you just can't get it. Just keep working with it. It sounds like Marley Boy is at it again, the barking. Let me get this. All right, so we've got one somewhat added. Sweet potatoes, says Joyce. All right, so let me shift this around. I want to try to get it as centered as possible on my wreath. There we go. I'm dropping stuff. Oh, I knew my microphone would get in the way. Now let me go fix my microphone real quick off camera so that it doesn't get in the way, because I literally have to take it up the shirt. Hold on, just give me a quick sec. All righty. Who loves the sun? This is so pretty. I love that it's just, even though the wreath is square, or the wreath is round, the sun is square. It's just really pretty. I'm just going to pull some of this mesh out. Let's see where I want this to go. Well, we're going to be cooking. I'm going to start cooking, I think, tomorrow for our feast. Does anybody brine a turkey? I have never brined a turkey, and I think I might try to do that this year. We always just, you know, bake it in the roasted or whatever you want to call it in the oven. I was watching some TikTok videos and they were showing the brining of the turkey, and I was like, that's interesting, but you've got to do it for overnight. So you've got to be really prepared to be able to do it. Oh, somebody says Joyce is saying she only does her brining for 6 hours. Yvette says you can get a pre-brined. I've never heard of that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But does anybody really care about the turkey? I mean, let's be very honest. For me, it's all about the sides. It's all about the sweet potatoes and the crock pot macaroni and cheese. I'm just going to tighten my little wires that are on the back, so that I want my sign to be in and not shift around. All right, so this one's not even twisted. Yes, Kelly, and the desserts. Let's not forget that. We should just skip the turkey and go straight on to all the other stuff. Okay. That's good. Just going to trim these wires off this back. I use florist wire, but you can use pipe cleaner, just whatever you like to use. Let's get this. And look at this, isn't that pretty? You really could stop right here if you wanted. If that's all you want to do, that's all you need to do. Do whatever you like on your wreath. We're going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the easel. Let me get my wreath out of the way down here that I was working on. This is, y'all, look how pretty is this. If you love florals, isn't this beautiful? This is a teardrop swag that we made in our Wreath Making of the Month Club group. It just turned out really, really pretty. I love all of the monochromatic color of the green with the ribbon. We had a time making sure that those Christmas trees were not upside down. Remember, we have a tutorial for you guys on the website and on our YouTube channel if you're trying to figure out how to make sure the print on your ribbon is not upside down. You can check that out on our channel, but this turned out really pretty. Do you put florals in your Christmas designs? Because that's what we're going to be doing today. Let me put this over. Let's see, where am I going to put this? Out of the way. Let's go ahead and get our hanger on. We've also got a tutorial to how to add wreath hangers. Y'all, if you're new to wreath making, head over to our website at southerncharmwreaths.com. You could click start here and then click wreath making, and we've got a lot of beginner tutorials for you, including our Wreath Making 101 course. So our Wreath Making 101 course is geared for beginner makers, and it's we're having a Black Friday sale, so it's less than $10. Wreath Making 101 course. If you go to wreath101.com, you can learn more about that. But it's for people, a lot of makers will ask me, like, I don't know where to start. And that's exactly what that is for. Just showing you basic information about mechanics, the elements, the vendors and things like that, how to start your design. I talk a lot about my workshop and things like that. So it's really good for beginner makers. Let me just get all my ribbons together. Probably going to go ahead and add these. Let's do that next. Let's add our ribbons. I love the colors of this. Isn't this pretty? Isn't this just really pretty? It matches to me pretty good. I got this, okay, so the 2.5-inch ribbon is from Deco Mesh, and then the 1.5-inch ribbon is from Trendy Tree. I'll put those links down in the comment section of the video once I get it finished, but I love adding ribbon to my wreaths. It just really adds a whole nother layer of texture to my designs. And to me, like mesh and ribbon, it's inexpensive, but it gives a great impact. I do not spray anything on my wreaths, but I put every one of them outside. There's only a couple, I think, that I wouldn't put outdoors, and I usually, explain that. So anything that's got like a stuffed plush animal, not an animal, but a doll, a plush doll, I wouldn't put that outside because, nobody likes a moldy plush doll. For my wreaths that I put on my door, if they're going to be out like with the rain going sideways, I would probably bring it in. But for just a regular rain, I leave it out. In our old house, we didn't have a covered front porch or whatever you want. The door wasn't covered, it was open. And I would put this right outside. The ribbons, thank you, Peggy, are 14 inches long. Thank you for that question. I don't even know. I'm just like eyeballing it, y'all. Just deciding where I want to put it and then put it there. You could put bows on here if you wanted to do bows. You don't have to do ribbon. I'm putting a little bit of a shimmer with this ribbon. I think it's pretty. This could have been a solid red if you wanted to. I just would be careful that you don't do so much that it's going to distract from the sign. So my focal piece is the sign. So I want to make sure that it's not a distraction, whatever ribbon I add, and that I can read it, if that makes sense. So we've just about finished, y'all, Christmas decorating. I've got to do the outside still on my home. I've just pretty much done the inside. I'm trying to think if there was any. I do have one more tree that I've got to finish decorating, but I'm going to let the kids do it while they're visiting here for Thanksgiving. I think that would be fun to have the kids, have a tree to decorate. So all I need to do is get the lights added to my tree. And if y'all know, so I've been giving tips in my Wreath of the Month Club group and taking them along with me as I decorate my home. So we added the garland and did the Christmas tree, and one of the things we talked about is lighting. So I like to add lots of lights to my trees, but I use different kinds. So the last tree that I did, we used the incandescent. So you know, the incandescent lights are the lights that have been around forever, and they've got that warm glow to them. I'm a big fan of white lights, but to jazz it up and not go too far crazy, I know some people like color, like my mom loves color lights. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's just not something I want, you know, for my home. But to do something a little different than just all the incandescent lights, I mix it up with some the LED. Like I like to put some LED with the incandescent, and I also like to put some that twinkle in the tree with some that are the solid white. And I don't know, I like that. I think that's really pretty. It's just a different take on it, and it just shows a lot of, it's just fun. Grace says her hubs won't let her put up a tree until Friday. Oh, I'm sorry. And I was behind on mine this year. I was putting stuff up, tired. I was like, ugh, trying to get it rushed to get all of it done. And I kept thinking, why am I so rushed? And it's because I usually start in October, but I didn't get a chance to because of the move. So we're just a little late on that. I like the red and white too, Kim. It's really pretty. The twinkle, yes, twinkle lights, twinkle lights. So do you have like recipes for Thanksgiving that are like passed down from generation to generation? We have we have some family favorites that we all like, but I wouldn't say any of them are passed down. I think my kids will be the first ones, you know, to where we could say that. So my mom came up with recipes that we're, you know, using today or this year, and you know, my kids are already asking me for the recipes because we make them every year. So I guess we're starting the tradition of having those recipes that we pass down year to year. Cluster lights are pretty too, Peggy. That would also be a different look, but still being very, I don't want to say conservative, but you know what I mean, very, it is conservative, I guess. So yes, for me, because the colored lights would be walking a little too, yeah, crazy. I think my husband would die if I ever put the colored lights on. Now, one of the things I do like, though, is colored outside. I think colored outside's pretty. Grace has got a lot of vegans in her family. Oh, homemade egg noodles, says Carrie. Are you Italian? All right, I think that's good. So I've cut, I believe, 18 of each. Yeah, I've lost my hanger. There we go. So I've cut 18 of each, and I've just gone through and placed them, not necessarily where the mesh was tied in, but just randomly throughout. Let's see if that's going to be good. And look at that. Y'all, you could stop right here if you wanted. It's really pretty. But y'all know me. I'm going to take it up a notch. We're going to add flowers. Cracker barrel dumplings. How do you even know how to make that? Carrie likes to make cracker barrel dumplings. Okay, so let's see. I've got, why did I only bring over one of these? That's pretty. And then I have this. That's pretty. And then I have that. That's pretty. Let me go grab one more of our juniper. So y'all, juniper is it juniper? Yep, juniper is the shrubs that I see all the time outdoors. Growing, you know, they're in your yard. People put them in their yard. People put them typically on the side of the road. Sometimes you can have different types of juniper, some low ground covering juniper that's pretty. But this one has the berries on it, and then I also brought some of this. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I like this too. Let's just do both of these. So when you're choosing your greens, make sure to check the colors and be careful. Some of the berries that you use might pop if they're made of foam. So I like to try to find berries that are made of either they're waterproof or they're made out of plastic. Peggy says garlic cheddar drops are her favorite. Is that a biscuit, I guess? Bakes from scratch. Oh my goodness, you are fancy. I'm also going to use these. So I'm just going to go through and start adding the greenery throughout. This is going to add another layer of texture to your wreath design. Again, at any time you don't have, you could stop. You don't have to do all the things. Let's see, I don't think that one's stuck. I'm just going to dip it in my glue over here. The juniper is from wholesale. Though you could try places like Greenery Market, and you could try Trendy Tree, and you can try the Wreath Shop is another place that likes to buy really good quality greens and stuff. I'm going to turn my glue down just a little bit because it's a little thin. Right, Linda's saying, brings up a really good point that juniper is one of those evergreen pieces that you can be using all year round, because if it's all year round in nature, it can be all year round on your wreath designs. This just adds another layer. I love it. I'm trying to decide if that's going to stay in or not. I'm keeping these kind of long too. Andrew doing a pumpkin eggnog cheesecake. Stop it. That is, I think I gained weight just saying that out loud. That sounds divine. I'm going to trim this one just a tad shorter. Zoom in just a tad bit. Just going to do some smaller pieces around the front side. Y'all, the sign, did I tell you the sign came from Carolina Pottery? It was like $4.99. Maybe right here. Just get my ribbon to stick up just a little bit. I've got wreaths, I've got to box up and ship. I got the FedEx man coming tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that next. That's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Do you see how we've just added a little bit of that greenery? Just turned out really, really pretty. I like that. All right, so now, let's see. Is it this one that's sticking up? Let's give that a little. Let's see, if that one still looks weird, when I take a photo, I might have to cut it shorter. I think I'm going to add this now. This is another evergreen, but it's just very airy. You guys, if you like the videos that I do, make sure to subscribe and follow so that you don't miss anything. I do these throughout the year, so not just for Christmas. Yes, I started with an evergreen wreath base. I'm dipping all of my florals into a pot that's full of hot glue. We've got more information on that on our website, southerncharmwreaths.com. Click the Get Started button, and then click wreath making, and you'll learn a lot more information about like what I'm using, the scissors, the tools, and the glue pot is one of them. That's one of the most frequently asked questions. Let's see, this one's not very long, so let me pull it out. I'm going to move him. Let's put it right here. So if you like to make wreaths, I would suggest stocking up on these evergreen wreath bases. They make really pretty wreaths all year round, not just for Christmas. Oh, somebody's asking, I think this is called, I don't know, I didn't look at it. It does look like a cypress, doesn't it? Let's just see if I want to make this shorter. got this very natural look. So some wreaths don't have to be all the glitz and glam. And then I've got 2 of these. Let's get some of these up here. How pretty is that? Do you see the airy texture? I get wrapped up in the glue strings. Okay, now what we're gonna put in? Let's put in some flowers. Donna's asking, where do I buy boxes? I buy them off of a place here local that's within the, really close to me. It's a corrugated manufacturer, and when I first started wreath making, I went, back then, y'all, I've been doing this for so long, we had the yellow pages when I was looking for things. But Google. The Google machine is your best friend right now. So I would go to the Google machine and I would type in corrugated manufacturer near me to see if you have one in your area. And to me, that's the cheapest. And if you don't, you could just go to Amazon, Staples, where else, y'all? Where else? Walmart even has some shipping boxes. You just want to make sure that you're getting shipping boxes. All right, there's a big difference. Y'all, look how pretty these ranunculus are. This came from Greenery Market. So I'm just going to trim these and add. So we had a lot of length on the swag that we used, but I'm not going to do that much length, I don't think, on this. Oh gosh, this is so yummy. Save these little leaves because you can use them for filling in. Ranunculus, y'all, is that, I don't know, I'm not a gardener, I'm not a florist or anything like that. I'm just a home. I started this business out of my home, just making pretty things because I like what they, I liked them, and I couldn't afford to do the designer stuff, so I started learning how to make it myself. So if there's any florists or gardeners on here, let me know, is the ranunculus, what seasonal flower is that? Is that something that's multi-seasonal? Just going to add these wherever I think we need a flower. Oh, plant in the fall and they bloom in the early spring. Okay, thanks for that. Teresa, the flower of the year for 2021 is the peony. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I love that flower. That's my favorite. Do you see the green flowers? I've got glue all over the place. Let's see, we need one down here. Make sure I can still hear me. Sometimes I get worried that my mic is going to go out and then I don't know. All right, we got one down there. Let's see, let's do one up here at the top. Can y'all hear me? Check one, check two. Check one, check two. Give me a heart if you can hear me okay. What happened to the volume? Let me try this again. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Loud and clear, says Teresa. Okay, good. Thank you for that. All right, I'm just going to keep on working through my ranunculus. My ranunculi. I know that's not right. Is that right? That cannot be right. If you've got multiple ranunculus, is it ranunculi? All right, isn't this pretty, y'all? Already, this is taking on a whole nother look with the greenery. I mean, with the green florals. All right, let's see. Feels like I need something over there. And that's pretty. Got glue dripped on my sign. All right, I think, oh, I've got a few more of these little pieces that we can add. So here it is with all of the ranunculus added in. Beverly wants to know who was the person that influenced me the most with you and your style. I don't know if anybody really influenced me the most. I started back in, I started in 2009 creating for my home. And I just, I don't know, I have a look that I like, which is the garden style look. I do look in magazines, like a lot of floral magazines for florists. And I pay attention to the floral industry. I just love the natural look of florist, you know, of floristry that they put together for things for like weddings and stuff like that. I love that. And that's kind of where I started looking. I like the look of just going out into the garden, gathering up flowers, and putting them together. But I don't have a garden. I can't even keep my stuff alive, the real stuff in the yard. The green flowers, Jackie, you could get from greenerymarket.com. That's a great question, Beverly, and nobody has asked me that. I love these. These are called Velvet Cup Blossom Spray. Velvet cups. So you can't see too much with the camera on. This is what it looks like. It comes in a little spray. Y'all, I've added these into my Christmas tree this year, and they are so pretty. I added white in my I have a sitting room. I feel fancy. It's really just the living room. But I'm calling it the sitting room because it makes me feel fancy. But anyway, it's the living room. It's the room in the front of the house that nobody else sits in, but I do sit in it, and that's why I call it the sitting room. I sit in it to talk to my sister on the phone just about every night. Anyway, I have these white flowers on that tree, and if you just take these flowers and watch, I'm going to show you what I do. This is what I did for my tree. I didn't like this green for the look I was going for. It would be fine here. But I took all of these off, and then I just spread these out. Like this center one, you can angle down, and this, up, and this way, and this way. And then just stick this down in your Christmas tree. And then all of a sudden, you have some of this white stuff that's like a, more of a dimension to your tree, and it just looks so, so pretty. So I used this one in my living room tree, and then I also got I did the red one in my family room tree. So I loved these. I thought these were really pretty. This also, if y'all remember, we made the Ho 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 wreath not too long ago, and we used these and that Ho 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 wreath. So it's the same floral, and it's got the velvet texture, which to me speaks more like a not spring look, more of a wintry look. So I'm just going to go add these throughout. I think this is pretty. It's going to lighten up the wreath a little bit for us. You could add ornaments if you want to add ornaments. Oh, thanks, Sharon. She says, I love watching you. So calming. If only you knew what I had going on in my life, woman. I'm just joking. We all have that stuff going on. I love using crafting in order to help me forget that we have all that stuff going on in our lives. Am I right? Does anybody else do that? Does anybody else use like crafting? Some people paint. Mine is just wreath making. And it just kind of helps me forget that I didn't lay out anything for dinner, had a bad day at work, the kids are being crazy, you had an argument with the hubs. Just helps you forget that. I also used it when I lost my father. We had, with death in the family, it just helps me forget stuff like that. I mean, I just remember making wreaths and crying the whole time. Crying and praying. Praying. There's got to be a bumper sticker there somewhere. Praying and making, or all right, so we've got just a couple more. Let's see where I want this one to go. Move this one up just a little bit. I've got one more I'm going to put right here. Y'all, I wanted to use these berries, but I'm starting to wonder if it will be too much. How pretty is this? Do you see all of the white? The white just really added a whole nother layer. Let me see which way to go. This way. Very, very pretty. So let's see if I want to add the berries. Maybe just a few, not too many. Ah, Linda, you should make one just like this. Have fun with your granddaughter, Linda. Yeah, the berries are really pretty. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Have you ever like made something for your Etsy shop and you're like, oh, maybe I should keep it for myself? So with this lightweight stuff, you can just glue it right onto the mesh. Yes, so if you're joining us late, that's okay. The video will be available for replay. You can watch it tonight when you get home from work. Okay. Let's see. Need one down here. One right there, or one through here. This is not going to stay. I'm just going to put a steel pick on the end. Just a little steel pick. And then we're going to do one over on the other side. You could put pine cones. You know, I'm trying to think of what else you could put in here. I think pine cones would be really pretty. It's more of a natural, you know, look. Cardinal would be really pretty if you wanted to. If I put ornaments in, I probably would put more of a jute covered ornament and not a shiny, glittery ornament. I wouldn't do that, just to keep with the more natural look. And then you just go fluff your little ribbons on the outside. Make sure you can see your sign. And there it is. It's a very Hallmark looking Christmas wreath. Grapevine ornament says Ramona would look pretty. I think so too, but make sure they're the thick ones and not the thin. Cotton would be pretty. Cotton bowls, really pretty. Let's get to this guy. Oh, did I turn it the wrong way? Let's go that way. Yes, I love this. So we've got a lot of texture in this wreath, very pretty. Let's just started with a Christmas wreath, added in the different layers, which gives it that added texture, which is super, super important for making your wreath just like go wow, you know, pop. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. You guys are a blessing to me. I hope I'm a blessing to you. I thank God every day for all of you, and I pray for all of you, and just thank you so much for following me on the channel and being a part of my business journey. Just means the most, you know, it just means so much to me, and I want you to know how thankful I am for you. Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're in the States. I'll be talking to y'all later, and don't forget to follow and subscribe. Head over to southerncharmwreaths.com for more tutorials like this. If you're new to wreath making, remember you could go to wreath101.com, wreath101.com, and learn the basics of mechanics, elements, where to buy some supplies. You could also learn about like a setup, how to store your supplies and what tools to use and things like that. Wreath101.com. It's on sale through Black Friday. It's $10 off. So if you're interested to learn the art of wreath making or even start and you have some beginner questions, Wreath101.com will be your answers. Y'all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Bye.